All right, so behind me you can see the painting that I started yesterday. It's sketched in places in pencil, which the camera isn't going to really uh, capture because the light has to hit it a certain way. Sunlight, lamplight has to catch it a certain way, and then the pencil marks, poof, pop out. You can see, kind of see them probably in the white, not so much in the black, but that is part of my technique, is engaging with the viewer in different ways. So they may come upon the painting, they may come upon the work straight ahead and not see the pencil marks, which is fine, because what I want to do is draw them in, and when they shift, poof, pencil marks show up. Light being reflected in a different way. Light and an image being reflected in another way, or being presented in another way other than just straight paint. That said, and I'm going to contradict myself again from the last couple videos, which I do all the time, and I kind of delight in my contradictions. I said I was not going to use aerosol in this. I was not going to go ahead and use aerosol in this, but I walked out to the garage, the other studio, the darker, more cave-like studio that I was using a lot, and found this. My rake broke. We had a big storm here in town, and my rake broke, excuse me, while I was cleaning up palm fronds that were all over the place, and broken branches. And I piled them all up and, piled all the palm fronds up. But in the middle of it, my cheap little rake that I think my ex-housemate left behind, it just snapped off. And I looked at the pole. This is part of my adapting and evolving thing. I looked at the pole and I went, oh my God, a walking stick, which is something I desperately need. I should be using a cane, but I don't have any of them with me. And I'm not going to go out and buy one unless I have a lot of money in the bank and I can splurge like that. But because of my illness, I tend to look like I'm drunk when I'm walking. I'll lose all feeling, or I'll get horrible pains, or like yesterday, my neuron system was exploding. So I could barely walk at all most of the day after I did my videos. So anywho, I have a new walking stick because this broke, but then I'm looking at it, and these spaces in between got me to thinking about the areas outside of my little figure, the boy on the hobby horse. And so I did spray a little bit this morning, and as you can see, I'm using like a blood orange, a color I haven't used a lot. I think I just bought this one. The color is called Orange Dark. I've used it in the past, haven't really loved it. However, I am loving it here. The negative spaces in the rake are providing just the right, they are just the right shape, they are just the right width for my black brush strokes. And this is going to provide so much interest and fluidity encircling the hobby horse and the child sitting on it, the young man sitting on it. I'm going to show you something. I've talked about the hobby horses I've done, or the series that I'm working on, and I've been working on it for a long time, thinking about it for years. There's one that's available, it's called Dada's Boy, it's or Hobby Horse, it's down at Chasen Galleries, and that got me thinking about boys on hobby horses. And like I said, I have a collection of photographs I want to work from, or reference material I want to work from. But this is one of the last ones I did. Now you can see how I used the black gesso. I did not go into the white, which I actually might, in fact, using the pencil to keep the continuity going in terms of light and reflection. How am I gonna, how interesting would this be to have my lines, but in the pencil. It gives it a whole other depth, and it draws you in. I can't remember the quote I said yesterday about Bernice, but something about Bernice Steinbaum and art and depth and that. But I'm thinking, look at adding pencil right there. The viewer can't see it when they're directly in front of it. But the painting should engage and spark the mind more than when they're just standing in front of it going, oh yes, oh, the brush strokes, they're so interesting. And the colors. I want something more. I want something that's going to stop them in their tracks if they happen to walk away and look. And there is, what is that line? What is that light being reflected off of? So I think I'm going to have to get another pencil soon. This is a heavy ebony that I picked up a while ago. And it's just been sitting on my table. But this is going to give this, the ebony pencil is going to give this so much more depth. And it will help it. Oh, this is so much fun. I'm going over some of the oil right now. Oh, this is, yeah, okay, I'm going to get obsessed, so I better stop. But because my head, I waited like 3 weeks between painting, 2 or 3 weeks. I did a little bit here and there. I packaged up a couple paintings, shipped them off to the woman who purchased them. You know, I did a little bit here and there. I did some prepping, but I didn't really paint because my head was saying, please just don't. I'm thinking things through. My little amygdala and the ganglia and the limbic system were all in there just firing at one another and firing at me and my will and my drive and saying, please don't. Give us a minute, take a beat and think. And so I'm glad that I did. And I just didn't force this forward, even though I believe that you should work no matter what. There is a point where your limbic system, your amygdala, your ganglia, they're all talking, and they're sending messages throughout your brain, and you can feel it in your heart if you're listening. If you've let go of everything you think you know about creating art, and you're hearing that center, you're feeling that center. I know I look like a crazy person, but I have no shame. So, you know, you're feeling it. That ganglia sending messages from the limbic system to the amygdala and saying, feel this. Feel what we're trying to say to you. This is what I get in the center of my brain. I can feel it. And as I've said before, you can actually see illustrations of the amygdala and the ganglia as well, because I think they're just so beautiful, those fibers, those fans, and how they control how we feel. Or not control how we feel, but they fire off emotions and memory. We've got all the other bits that give us motor skills. And when I cracked myself in the head, my motor skills and some of my memory was affected, obviously. And then, of course, my RSD, my illness, makes it all hypersensitive. But that doesn't mean if you haven't cracked yourself in the head or torn your body up and ended up with this really horrible, incurable illness that will take away your muscles and your bone. It doesn't mean that you can't tap into your own empathy and understanding of your own reference material. All you have to do is relax. Relax into this, into your nervous system in the center of the brain. This is what I feel strongly about. Relax into the nervous system in the center of your brain. And not tell it what to think. but help it direct you. This is what I do. Some people do it through meditation. Sometimes I do that. I'm not so good at it. My son, once again, bringing up my son and his wife and her family, they all meditate. They're all Buddhists. I tend to be a little too for that. I do believe in the principles of Buddhism, and I believe in a lot of drives in other religions, which share one big basic, okay, I'm going to shoot off the reservation again, or shoot off the topic, but they all share one basic principle, which is the golden rule, do unto others, as you would have done unto you, had to have them do unto you. But they all share other principles as well, such as empathy. So I don't prescribe to one religion, but I do believe in a number of principles in other religions, and they're all of them kind of saying that same thing. I am the light. Follow. Okay, now it's going to be poltergeist, but follow the light. Go into the light. They all say the same thing. They talk about peace. They talk about centering yourself, reflection. Most of them talk about, or some of them talk about staying quiet, generosity, charity, blah, blah, blah. But it all boils down to empathy. And so what we want to tap into, or I feel we all should tap into, is the limbic system, the amygdala, the ganglia. Because as artists, that's what's going to help direct us. That's my feeling anyway, as loony as I am. Do-do-do. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to keep spray painting this little one, areas around this little one, and help create this energetic movement. Oh, the other thing that all religions basically share is a connectedness, that we're all connected, that we were basically all one. And I heard from my friend Eric, the famous Eric again, who said that he's not primarily an artist, he's a scientist. Well, what do the sciences share in common with the arts? Interconnectedness, cause and result, and also the ability to evolve. The sciences are always evolving. So Eric, you are an artist, just on another level, much deeper level than me. I have heard from NASA scientists and different people who work in math and the different sciences over the years, but I have heard from like rocket scientists basically who appreciate my abstracts because they're based on energy and our interconnectedness, and how one fire, like in our brains, poof, one thought, one feeling, one neuron will shoot out. And there is a causal reaction in my abstract paintings. Not all of them. Some of them are just kind of dumb. But most of them, the stronger pieces are, there is movement, interconnectedness, the fibers, like the ganglia, are all connected. So, there's that, and Eric, you are an artist. I know that you're aspiring to be a professional artist, but I want you to see yourself in another way, how I see you. But just reflect on it anyway. So, moving on, I've hit all these points. Here's my cards again, because head injury, got to keep my index cards, and I'm going to keep them on camera now, so I don't lose track too much. Don't go too far off the reservation or derail like I usually do. You see me do. Anyway, I've been rethinking the word inspire, which is actually hanging up right over here. I put it out of camera shot. I have all these cards hanging up reminding me, you know, what do you want to do with this channel? Well, one of the cards, and actually it's hanging up there too. Oops, okay, just tore it. I have a number of cards hanging around the house that aren't torn that say inspire through work. Inspire through work. This one hanging up just to the side of the camera. But I hate the word inspire. It's just so cliche. It drives me insane. I don't like cliche. So I did find alternatives. Ready? I got a list. And people have been sending me words to use besides inspire. Motivate, incline, persuade, encourage, influence, move, stir, energize, galvanize, incite. I think my favorite is galvanized. It's so powerful. I love words. I love words and I love their derivations. But galvanize, that's a solid word. So why don't we try to galvanize through work? Galvanize. Strengthen each other and move each other to work through our interconnectedness. And the strengths that we have, we can share them. All right, there's my lecture. There's my lecture. I'm pretty proud of this. I love the size of the lines. I am loving this color. As I said, it's Orange Dark by Montana. Not my favorite company. Not my favorite company at all, but I'm loving that color because this is going to explode when I put reds on it. So I'm going to have red lines all the way up around the outside, directing the eye, where it's going to go, flowing around the figure. And then in the center will be light oils, like you can see, and pencil work, and the black gesso. We're underway. We are completely underway. Forget to say this, I'm Beck Lane. This is Studio 120. If you'd like to help support Studio 120, my phone bills do. So if you'd like to help support Studio 120, please go to the links below. Monthly donations through Patreon. You can purchase gaiters, masks, prints of my work through Beck Lane Gaiters and Masks on Facebook. Beck Lane Gaiters and Masks on Facebook. All the links are below. Or inquire about the work. If you have questions, what was I thinking when I did this? If you have questions about my work, about pricing, contact me. I'll send you to the right people, or I'll answer the questions as best I can. Okay? That's it. Ciao. Let's all get to work today, shall we? Ciao. Ciao. Galvanize. And